In World of Warcraft, hunters have the ability to tame some of the beasts that they encounter within the game. Generally, the more unique these pets are, the more difficult they will be to tame. This difficulty usually lies in finding them, as some of them can be so incredibly rare that hunters have to camp for hours or even days in hopes of finding them. A minority of these, however, are difficult due to the taming process, often requiring the hunter to bring specific items or complete the tame in a certain way. In some cases, these can be as hard or even harder to tame than the regular ones with a rare tag and a long spawn timer. In this video, we will explore the taming process of the Grimtotem Spirit guide, a beast that was so hard to tame that it was initially considered impossible to get. The story starts in the Burning Crusade expansion, when some areas in the old zones of Kalimdor and the Eastern Plaguelands received updates to their questing environment. Among these newly added quests and NPCs were the Grimtotem Spirit Shifters, located in the Dustwallow Marsh. These Tauren NPCs had a spell that would summon tiny ghost wolves called the Grimtotem Spirit Guides to aid the casters for 5 seconds. While most players of this time had their focus directed at the newly added content in the higher level zones, it was discovered that these ghost wolves were classified as tameable beasts. The problem here is that they would despawn after 5 seconds, which was 4 times shorter than the channel time required to complete the Tame Beast spell. For this reason, the wolves were initially considered to be impossible to tame, being interpreted as a cruel joke from Blizzard's side to the hunter community. As Tame Beast is affected by spell haste, which some items and spells could modify, hunters began trying out ideas of reducing the spell's channel time from 20 seconds and all the way to under 5 seconds. After a lot of theory crafting and efforts from the hunters, it was discovered that the combination of 5 different effects would allow the hunters to accomplish this tame. These were the Shaman's Bloodlust effect, a haste buff from questing in the Winterspring, a leatherworking item, the Troll Berserking racial, and crucially the proc effect of a spellcaster metagem. It was possible to complete the tame without the drum or the troll racial, so other races and non-leatherworking hunters could still do it, but they would need to find other ways to boost their haste. Here is some footage showing how the taming could be completed in under 5 seconds. One of these 5 buffs, the metagem, was completely mandatory as it lowered the cast time of the next spell by 50%. As the lowest item with the metagem slot required level 66 back then, the taming had a hard requirement of level 66. After some hunters who had ghost wolves started popping up on the forums, a forum user asked a Blizzard representative whether this was intended to be tameable and if they would keep it tameable in the future. The official response was that while this wasn't intended, they did not have any plans to make it untameable in the near future. The wolves were then made unobtainable in a hotfix shortly after, with hunters who had already tamed this pet being allowed to keep them, as is the norm when things like this happen. Hunter players were rightly upset with the removal that they were told wouldn't happen. To be fair with Blizzard, their statement was technically not wrong. The Grimtotem Spirit Guide was not made untameable, it is in fact still tameable to this day. Instead, it was completely removed from the game, with realms now instead spawning the Grimtotem Spirit Wolves in their place. The new version of course being identical to the first, except for its non-tameable creature tag. At the same time, the old, tameable version was renamed to Ancient Grimtotem Spirit Guide, which doesn't spawn anymore. As this event happened early in the game's history, this pet is one of the most, if not the most rare hunter pet to come across today. After its removal, the Ghost Wolf did leave a lot of hunters dissatisfied with how Blizzard handled the situation. Luckily for hunters who missed out on this super rare pet, there was another tameable Ghost Wolf added into the game in the Cataclysm expansion. This was the rare spawn called Karoma, which was a member of the notoriously rare Spirit Beast family. This is in contrast to the Grimtotem Spirit Guide, which is counted as a wolf. Spirit Beasts require Beast Mastery to tame and use, which still makes the Grimtotem Spirit Guide the only Ghost Wolf that can be used by survival or marksmanship hunters. This allows the few veteran players who went through all this preparation and effort to keep something very unique, while the new players or those who missed it also have access to a Ghost Wolf pet, provided that they use the Beast Mastery spec. Personally, all things considered, I think Blizzard did a good job finding a solution for both sides with the addition of Karoma in the Cataclysm expansion. I know the topic of how Blizzard handles unintended things like this is one with a lot of different opinions, so let me know yours in the comments below. I hope that you learned something new about this event in the game's history, and that you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.